Hey everyone, I'm Sandy of Lolly and Sand, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. I hope you're all doing well. I maybe had too much fun in the last little while. I've got myself a scratchy throat in case I sound different or if I have to stifle a cough. My son was here last week, so we did the touristy thing and went around to Niagara Falls and a bunch of places in the area. That was a lot of fun. And then I took him home, and then on Sunday I went to my niece's wedding shower. That may have all been part and parcel. Plus I was in my friend's pool Saturday and then Sunday morning again. It's hard to say. Maybe I just overextended myself a bit. Anyway, speaking of extending, I have a BOGO sale running. It was to end today, yesterday I should say, the 19th. And I'm going to extend it to the 24th of September 2022. And the reason for that was because, one, my son was visiting. I couldn't pay much attention to it, unfortunately. Two, my computer kind of messed up and I had to get a new one, which I didn't get set up till Sunday night. So, yep, and we're just going to extend that. There was a few questions about, hey, do I have to spend $100? No. What I have is the first 10 people that spend $100 before tax and shipping go into are in like a little club, and they get $16 additional free new product from Stampin' Up. So let's say, pretend this is a BOGO item. You choose from my list of retired products, and whatever that amount is, let's say it's $150, that you get to then choose $150 worth of product from the mini or the annual catalog or clearance or any specials that are happening right now. Pretty cool. So basically you get the BOGO products free, you get your new products, so you're getting two, basically. That's the BOGO. The link to my BOGO is in the description below. So I say we get started. If you have any questions, please message me. Please, please, please. Alrighty. So today we're going to be using the Leaves of Holly bundle. Let's get the dies out as well. This, out of the new mini catalog, is my favorite Christmas set. I just think it is fantastic. And anyone who's been following me, or if you want to look back a few videos, I actually did a fall card. Well, I shouldn't say fall. I did a non-Christmas card using products from this set. So there you go. It can be done. So I love it. It's photopolymer, which is good. You have these two-step stamping, or in this case, I'm going to use two-step die cutting. These little guys we use a lot, using this for the video and then this to cut out the sentiment. In addition to, of course, you have season's greetings, Christmas wishings, other great sentiments, and then you're going to and joy and peace, joy, peace. So you can put it together however you like. I like that. I like options. I think that makes your hard-earned dollar go further. So I think that's good about that. One thing I want to say is that the card I'm making is called a Pop-Up Bendy Card. And it's, I first saw it done by a demo in the US, Rachel Tessman. She's from Stamp Your Art Out, and absolutely love the card. I had to change it a little bit, and I'll show you in the pieces that I changed. Now, I did have two more cards at the end to show you, but I gave them away, so you'll have to see them on my blog. One was a gift card for my niece, and I put it in the bendy card, and so on. So anyway, we'll talk about that. So here's my paper. I decided, because the card is pretty thick, just to use the regular basic white. So this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And when you score it, you're going to score at, well, let's do the center one, 4 1/4. And then you're going to score at 2 1/8, flip it around, and score again at 2 1/8. So the first thing I want to do with this is you're going to fold it in half. So before I did my other score marks, those are the dogs in case you're wondering. They like to be present during the videos. Anyway, so this is your standard fold. We're going to fold back. I always have to see the card. I'm sorry, fold forward. Wait, let me just see the inside. Yeah, we're going this way. I'm going to fold this one in and fold this one in. And you notice I'm using a bone folder, and that's because it just gives really crisp lines, which you are going to want to do. Just have really crisp lines. They don't quite join, and that's just about perfect. If you don't have a bone folder, you can get one from my store. Everything I show you is available at my store. And if you want to make the card right away and you don't have the bone folder yet, you can use just about anything. Here's some brads. Use the container. You can use the end of your glue. Make sure everything is clean, but you can do that too. I used to just use my fingernails, but then I found I left a bit of a mark in places, so I stopped doing that. Okay, so that's the front of the card. That's how it's going to lay flat. I'm going to decorate and then we'll continue on. So the next thing you want to do is get a piece of cardstock, or in this case I use basic white again, and cut it as at, let me think, 4 inches by 5 3/8, and I ran mine, I think you can see the pattern on that. I ran it through my Stampin' Emboss, cut and emboss machine using stitch greenery. As we all know, that is my favorite embossing. So it's metal, so I don't want to call it embossing folder, but it's an embossing die. There we go. Alrighty, now you're going to be surprised. I am going to use, and it got stuck to my paper, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. This one might run out, but I have another one handy. I want to get into the corners. That's the only thing, since I'm kind of new to using this, is to try and get right to the corners. You don't have to do the entire thing. I find it's really not necessary. Like, you don't have to do all the way around the whole thing. That seems to be a little bit of a waste of tape, but you can do little bits at a time. Stop sticking in my finger. I kind of did that one a little bit long. So if it ever stops, roll it forward and go again. Alrighty. I always seem to have little sticky things from it. Now, if you had a pattern that super duper mattered, you would want to make sure that you match that up. I think I turned it around like 4 different times. That looks right. Okay, so this will be on the left side of the card. This will be on the right side of the card. So let's do that. So one thing about this, it sticks like crazy, like it's strong. Alrighty, so I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm not going to press too hard. And lay that down. I really have to watch people using this to see how do they not get their fingers stuck as much as I do. Right, make sure that I set that down properly. Nope, I turned it around again, didn't I? Did I? Oh, well, I turned one of them around. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. I had it, and then I let go. So I think this is such a delicate folder, or embossing die, that it's not going to make a big difference. Oh, and I got them together too. So there's the base of your card. I'm going to move on to the mechanism that works on the inside of the card. So, oh, I did give you the measurements for this. Once that was 4 inches by 5 3/8, and you're going to cut it at the 2-inch mark. Sorry about that, I did miss one. Alrighty, so this is part of the pop-up device, and you have a piece of paper. You can decide the thickness. It really all depends on what your background is and what you want to do. So I believe I went with 1.5 inches by 5 1/8. Alrighty, and I scored 1/2 inch at this end, flipped it around, and 1/2 inch at this end. And then bone folder again, fold those over, fold it over, There we go. Make sure they're even. So it's going to sit like that on your card, like so. Can we put those in first? Yes, we do. Alrighty. You can, I know it's on white, but you can see there's that center crease, and we kind of want to be mindful of that. So I'm going to put this in. You could use something other than Stampin' Seal. I suppose you could use Tombow. Oh, I do have to fast forward it just a tad. Like I said, we're getting to the bottom of the roll, so it's going to be, or the end of the roll rather. It's being a little persnickety. It's like, no, I won't give you any more. You're done, sister. And there. Alrighty. Now, again, this piece you can make. I don't know that I'd make it wider than 1.5 inches, but 1 inch would be good as well. In case you hear any rumbling, they're ripping up the, we don't have sidewalks, but they're ripping up the road to make sidewalks. And I think they might even be ripping up the road. If you want to, you can measure this, but you don't have to. So I'm going to keep those folded down. Okay, so it looks like that. I'm going to keep that folded down. And what I want to do is not put it right at either of these crease marks here. Not here or here, because that will affect the closing, and that's not even. So up we go. I mean, it looked like it was on a bit of a slant to me. That looks good. Alrighty, so we're getting there. There's another mechanism that has to be added to this. So this piece is the same width as this. So it's 1.5 inches. If you were going to make this 1 inch, then you would make this 1 inch wide, but it's going to remain at 3 inches. So mine is 1.5 inches by 3 inches. And what I did is I scored 1/2 inch, and then at 1 inch, flipped the paper around, and I did 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And then when I folded it, looks like a little, to me it looks like little frog legs. See, that's the way you want your mechanism to go. You're going to be gluing these strips here. Alrighty? Yeah, we can do those right away. I had to think for a second. I did get some tape on that. And some tape on that. This one you do want to center. Now, I've had a wee bit of a time because, well, I will with this because I'm up here. So here's the center of the card. And you want to aim that. Let's see if we can get that in the center. It's off by ever so slightly. I'm not going to move it. I'm happy with that. You're not actually going to see this since I'm going to have something on there. So here's your pop-out bendy part. Ready? So the card, when it sits on someone's desk, will look like that, which I think is pretty cool. And that's why I thought I would make Rachel's card. Alrighty, so we've decorated the outside. Now we want to do a little bit on the inside, and then we're going to totally decorate. So I have paper, and this is from the Boughs of Holly cardstock, pattern paper rather. It's 12 by 12. It's gorgeous paper. I'll show you the original card. I used a slightly different pattern. The poinsettias are smaller. Now, here's my suggestion. Don't glue these in until you've taken a look to make sure they're the right size. On my second card, I ended up having to take just a little bit off of the one side. So these are going to fit right up against the sides of the first mechanism we added. And one thing you want to do, so we're just going to pretend that's attached. Get over, get straight, is make sure they're not in the fold of the card. See that one? Just do one at a time. That one's not in the fold of the card, so that's good. And this one's not in the fold of the card either. I know that because it's really close, mind you, but it isn't. Alrighty. So when I cut my paper, I could see that the whole paper is patterned. It doesn't go like this. I actually cut it like this. Because for me, when I have my 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I'm cutting, in this case, 2 inches by 5 3/8, 2 pieces, I did not really want to cut 5 3/8 into the paper for a 2-inch strip. That didn't make sense to me. So on 12 by 12, I cut it this way. It's okay that they don't go together on each side. You know, it is what it is. So now this you could use liquid glue for sure, but let's see how we do here. Oh, we're so close to the end. So very close. Okay, I'm going to put in one at a time. Okay, I can lift that up, and again, see, let's show you real as close as I can that this piece of pattern paper is right up the edge to the edge of the mechanism. And I'm just going to go like so, making sure that I have that straight, and like so. And again, it's not in the center. I know when I finished the card, I still went like this again and made my outside, or this little edge, even nicer. Really want crisp edges, as mentioned. And if you think the card is really difficult, I'll tell you that we did this. Now, we gave the measurements in advance, but we did this in a team meeting. And I don't know if I went as slow. I just want to make sure the top edges are pretty close to being at the top. You get out of there. Alrighty. It's coming together. Now that I have the paper in, you can see that this is a little bit high, and it's not the end of the world. As mentioned, it is not the end of the world. Alrighty. So we have our mechanism 1 and 2. And again, that's what it looks like. I might just press that down a little bit better. And now we're going to decorate parts of the card. So we have a belly band. Again, you don't have to go this thick. And on my original, which is in the photos, you'll see that this is done in cherry cobbler. Guess who ran out of cherry cobbler? I did. So to find little parts that I needed for the card, I actually went through my scrap bin. Yeah, I did. All right, so belly band. You can make it narrower if you wish. Wider, no. So this is 2 1/8 by 9 1/4. And there's one score mark at 2 3/4. The other one you don't really need because you're just going to wrap around. Now, when you're actually laying this piece down, this is how you're going to get it straight. Lay it down and make sure that these edges line up. I just find that to be helpful. Okay, so let's close up the card. Everybody down. Oh, my mechanism isn't laying down flat. Oh, you know what I did wrong? Sandy, let me look at my original. Sandy, you did that wrong. Okay, let's see if we can pull that up. Okay, ignore that last part. Sandy will fix. Come together. There we go. That's one nice thing about the Stampin' Seal is you can peel it off if you have to. But I'm going to re-glue it because I made a little oopsie. All right. When you glue it together like that. I don't know what I did, but I don't think I put them right down flat or something went wrong. Okay, so now let's just try that again. It's really not a big deal. And it closes now. Phew! Okay, here's the belly band. Now you might think you do this and attach that back, but nobody wants to see that seam. So we're going to take it, turn it, and go like this. And again, my card wasn't this white, the first one. I'll show it to you later. Now, for your belly band, you don't want it to be so tight that they can't get it off the card. So back her up just a little bit. We'll get that nice and straight. And I am going to burnish that. The reason why I didn't give you measurement number 2 is it really depends on the thickness of the inside of your card, how tight it's going to be. And you don't want it uber, uber, uber tight. So let's go like that, put it back on. Doesn't matter if you glue this side or that side. I'm just going to do this one. And again, I'm using seal. I feel like I can't see it on the white though, so I'm going to do this. White on white on white. Alrighty, put it back on. I know it seems like this card takes a long time. Once you have all your pieces together, it's fine. Now I went over a bit, so notice how I'm just taking the Stampin' Seal and moving it back. Again, not the end of the world, because there's going to be stuff on the front, which is, all right, so this is part of the die set that I showed you earlier. And this I did out of that's called gold and rose gold paper. It's 6x6, so you get the gold and you also get rose gold. And I wanted, it took me a while to put the originals together because I just wanted it to be sleek, but I wanted it to be colorful at the same time. And it was missing something, so gold did it. I have stamped the sentiment, and this again is one of the dies right from inside this whole set. So all of these parts are from the set. These are the holly berries. So this was the little piece, it was about that long, of cherry cobbler. And then this, I just took the back of one of the pattern pieces, right in the boughs of holly designer paper, and I cut that because I wasn't really finding a cardstock color that I wanted to go on top, and I thought that paper looks great. You can see the contrast. So we'll be gluing that together. And I have a bunch of pieces already die cut. Here they are. I love these. I absolutely think that's cool. These guys here, these are die cut, obviously. And then these guys I fussy cut from, I have to show you this paper. Oh, there goes my scissors on the floor. All right, you can see where I've taken chunks out here and here. This is from that same pattern paper. You can see it's 12 by 12. This paper is itching to be fussy cut, but you don't have to. If you want to use a piece on your card, no big deal, but fussy cutting is awesome with this card. Alrighty, so let's get putting this together. I know, I feel like I talk a lot, but there's so much to tell you on like a card. The ink I used is, let me think. I used Evening Evergreen. I just thought it looked really pretty. Now these pieces, as you can see, of the gold, they could come out, but since they didn't, I'm leaving them exactly where they are. I see one little bobble there moving, but I think that's going to get covered up. All right, I'm going to glue these two together, so now I do need the Tombow. And I have two here. Look at the back of the paper. Look how cool is that? The front's a little bit plain. And I'm going to be doing this the right way. That way, put it on this side. You don't need a lot of glue. Just need to dot it here and there. Whoops, there we go. And there. And place it on top. Kind of gives it that little 3D look, which I think is really pretty. So this is actually going to be the center of everything that happens here. So I'm going to get my glue dots right here. And let's go for it. Wait, take your pick tool. Take your pick tools right here as well. Here we go. So I'm going to put the first piece on. Wait till the glue dries, like so. I can fit all these underneath without it lifting. I mean, and lift the edges, duh. I said that backwards. Alrighty, so I'm gonna want one of these and one of these. I want a leaf. I want you. I'm not the best fussy cutter, but it wasn't horrible. It really wasn't. If it was, I would tell you. I thought I had 3 gold pieces. I might have, I'm sure I had 3 gold pieces. All right, that's fine. There's lots of gold on the front, so we will save the gold for the inside. Alrighty. If you want to glue these, you can do that too. I'm just going to use the Tombow, I'm just going to use my glue dots because they're quick and easy, painless. Look how pretty that is. Very. Alrighty, and we'll take one of these leaves and 2 of these guys. All right, and here we go again. glue dot. I do know the name. I really do. Put that on top of there. Oh, there it is. You just pop out of nowhere. Nope, it did not. And not at the same height. That one. And I'm going to add this one last. So we're going to lift this up and go this way. I want you to be able to see the gold there. And one more right here. I forget how many are on a roll with glue dots, but I think maybe like 400 or something. So don't worry about using them. Using lots. You need, and you know what? I'm going to move this guy down here. You know why? Because I think it needs a little more color. That's another reason why I like glue dots. You just pull the item out if you changed your mind. There we go. It's right there on the end. I'm just going to lift it up. Lift it up and set it inside. Yeah, I like it better down. So that is going to go onto our belly band. I'm thinking with my brain now. It's like I was thinking something, but it didn't come through. You know what? I didn't quite cover up the seam, so I'm a little disappointed with myself. So hard to believe that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to put it in the back. I think on my first one, the seam was over here, and this, all of this covered it up. So if you happen to make a little boo-boo like me, don't worry about it. Just change it up. Change it up. Mistakes happen. I can attest to that. They definitely happen. Sticky. This is really sticky. I don't want to pull out any of the parts, but I think I'm pulling out the parts. There we go. And then right on there. Now, one thing I didn't do on this card or the original was I didn't use any ribbon, any twine, any kind of embellishment, because I thought less is more. Less is more. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys and get our centerpiece out. So what I did here was I took the Evening Evergreen and I stamped it on a piece of paper yay big. Then I die cut using the Stylish Shapes dies, and then, so it's already stamped, and then I ran it through the Stitch Greenery, so it actually goes right through the words, and I think that's kind of cool. Yep. Alrighty, so I was supposed to make 2 of these. Oh, Rats and Frats. Sandy, 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 how are you going to get out of that one? Let me think with my little brain. You know what? Okay, slight diversion. Someone wasn't paying attention when she was getting the pieces ready. Give me a moment. And we can do this real quick. There's the paper. Here's my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And I just need a leather little corner of the paper for the dies. Alrighty, I just missed one, so we're gonna get, well, one section. Get that die and that die. I do this when I'm regular stamping too, like on my own. I forget. I'm just gonna put this over here. So I'm gonna take the paper out of there. I don't want to have like a big chunk cut out of it. So what I do when I'm making small things and looking for my scissors at the same, I dropped them on the floor, I remember. 1 second. Ooh, thankfully they landed right beside me. Wow. Lucky, is I'm just gonna cut around like this. Not too far. I know that's really close. Just it. There we go. All right, so we can cut these out at the same time and we will be all better. I'm not even sure how much you can see of that. So take my paper, there's the opposite side. I'm gonna take my paper and do that. Take my paper and do that. So that's the extent of my cherry cobbler that I have left. It is one of the richest reds Stampin' Up! Has ever had. And I don't really think they'll ever take it from the lineup, but I could be wrong. Alrighty, so Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I have the big one handy, so I didn't obviously use the little one. And then we'll just move that out of the way. And carry on like nothing happened. Alrighty, so there it is. Looks like a little cloud, kind of. Ooh, gives me ideas. And paper. Now we'll put the dies back where they go. All right, so let's glue that. I see there's one little piece that needs to come out, so we'll give that a little poke. Make sure I do it the right way. Good. Alrighty, again, a little bit of glue. It's not coming out faster than I want, of course, but there we go. A little bit right there. Hold that down. Alrighty. And we'll put that together. Now we can continue. So just like the front, but a little bit different, as I have slightly different things here to add. I'm going to put this down here. So we'll do the same thing. If you want to glue them on, you can. The only thing I would not suggest is popping anything up, because your card is going to be pretty thick. Pretty thick. Alrighty, so same as the front. We'll just do that. So that's Cherry Cobbler, and this is Evening Evergreen. I don't think I said that for the front, but it is. And we'll just get some pieces together. I'd like to have 3, and I still like this one going that direction. So maybe I'll do 2 of those. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. That leaf can go elsewhere. I usually do more than I need, just to make sure, in case I change my mind, I've got all the goodies. And again, my fussy cutting is nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about. But it's fine. If we're looking that close to cards, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're looking that close, you might be just a tad too close to my card. Can I do that? Oh, of course I can. I kind of like this because they're like 3 different colors. And it's unlike blues, I think greens pretty well all go together. And we'll put that kind of like that. Alrighty. And then we'll be almost done. Yay! If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it would be lovely if you did. If you want to be notified of when I upload a video, then you want to click the little bell, and that sends you a notification saying Sandy has uploaded another video. Let's put that one on the back this time, just this time. And I can maneuver that around and decide how I want that all to appear once we're done. Looks like I have 1 extra leaf, and I'm not going to use it. All right, so that was all glue dots holding all this together. And then under we go. You can, at this point, still move things around a little bit. Take that leaf out of the fray and get this one here. Now, how are you going to stick this? Don't put glue on here. It goes here. Only here, because that's part of the pop-up. So we'll get this back, and we'll just make sure we have good coverage. So I'm probably using more here than on any other part of the card. And let's put that about there. If you are going to write, if you're like me, oh, you know what? This has to move up because the card won't close. Because the card won't close, not cause. The card won't close otherwise. I could move it off center, but I don't want to. I know what, Sandy's centering something. I can see the glue dot, so I'm pulling this out. I'm going to put it down a little bit further, like so, and I want to see all 3 of those. There we go. Ta-da! Alrighty, so your recipient's getting the card. They go, oh, what's this? This is way thinner than the card for my niece. I probably overdid it like a whole bunch. So off goes the belly band. It's a little bit extra loose. Open, display. So it's actually going to be like a 3D card. Isn't that cool? Now, the difference between mine and Rachel's card, I was going to tell you what the difference was, is that Rachel also put pieces of DSP in here. There was one pattern, set pattern here, and then these were a different pattern, like to those. So two the same, two the same. But again, my card's thick enough as it is. So let me get you the original. I'll show you the original belly band. It's going to be a little bit different. So the card itself, a little more gold on the inside. I used basic gray. There it is standing up. Closing, and here's the belly band in Cherry Cobbler. And where I covered that seam we talked about. So there you go. Isn't that pretty? You can do this. You can make this card. Do the same thing I did when I was learning how to do Rachel's card. And that was that I kept stopping the video and I would write down the measurement. Stop the video, write the measurement, stop the video. And it worked beautifully. And there it is. I mean, I've made 4 of them so far. No, 4. 1, 2. Yeah, 4. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching. A little bit long-winded today. Do check out the weekly specials. They run right all through September, and every week it's a little bit different. And my BOGO. Definitely check it out. I've slashed the prices from my previous BOGO. I need things to go. I honestly have no storage, and I'm putting lids on things to be a good girl. Again, thank you, and I will see you again next Tuesday. Bye-bye.